Hi. I figured, sorry, I just have this tendency to cough in front of a woman. I normally don't cough when I smoke a joint, but since you're a woman, I have to cough all the time. Whenever it's a woman, I'm sabotaged. I figured that if it'd be from the best, uh, well, you might listen because how come there's no more music? You gotta think I'm pretty crazy. Uh, I got all this weird stuff happening to me with music. Well, you're the first band that actually grabbed me and fixed me. I was living with a gangster, and I have the curse of the best. They call me mon best all the time. Mon best is my best. And the trail where people walk by is always next to me in a concert. No matter how many people there is, they're always bumping into me the whole way through, unless I change the love track from position, because there's this net you play with when you're alpha with a golden way. That's the ever flowing way. I don't know what to call that. It's a booty treasure. I woke up with one morning with pink shoe soles fucking the earth on each step, propagating it to whoever was within 40 feet would start giggling or talking about those pink feet they just got and how fun it would be to walk all of a sudden. Yeah, and then there's this demon scary episode shit. It was in Festival d'été in Quebec City. I'm waiting to see you guys at the Imperial. For sure, I'm gonna be there. I love playing gigs. I play with formations and how people are linked to one another and who's linked with who. Can you imagine couples don't even, well, never used to feel love together in the fascist way, evil game? I'm a tattoo artist. I get clients all the time, and I'm the one that's loving the girl all the time in front of the guy that doesn't feel fuck all. Or sometimes they're the Harley Quinn Joker couple that gets you to love the girl, and then the guy's knuckles show, and he's always looking like he's gonna hit you every time you take a look. And then they kind of play around with you, trying not to have that happen or show that you're not doing it on purpose. It's a really good way to play around with someone, like it's some sort of booby trap. So what I'll do is when I notice I'm sticking on this girl, well, I'll link her. But I'm always chief, or I always hit the ceiling first or something. Then I used to get all these rats, or they would all clone into these torturers that would crawl down this tube to the bottom of my back, and when they do this with their neck, they'd squeeze the bottom of it, would contract the muscles at the bottom of my back. Every gig I just had to sit down and just couldn't make it through, and all the way just on twisting and untwisting those twisted sisters. Those I see these things come out of the puppets because they're puppets, most of them, most of the time. Only metalheads, punks, and marginals have this resisting ball grinder that grinds the energy. But I feel that energy. And yeah, so what happened is I was laying in my bed one day about 6, 7 years ago, and I had to live with a rapper, a gangster, a guy with deal speed. He fed me the whole winter. I even went through this psychosis. I didn't go to the hospital too, but that's when your music was playing around with me. I was seeing these ball systems and this maze in my stomach, and it would say, "Now I will be your breath," and that's when I could take that quick breath because he would control my breath with his hands, and he had made it into a spot inside of me where my breath had been changed, and I was synchronized with a downward spiral of some sort. This these ball bearings all the way up my spine, one with a cork in it, as if the chromosome 1 is blocked to keep you dependent, kind of thing. The number 1 spot, or the number, I don't know what, maybe it's a gene 6, the Genesis, Genesis, Diogène, the Sina. All these words games, when you doing that curse of Christ thing, or the bad night syndrome, good night syndrome, when they separate the apostles, take all the good women away from you, and all your good friends disappear, and then you end up with a wheelchair that hits you, puts you to jail, and takes your baby away. And then you notice it's this fascist game covered by psychiatry, and that's where they want you. That's why she was getting you high all the time, and try to hook you on crack, and got you drinking every night, and preparing the trail in order to abduct that child, and to do a parental alienation, to destroy what you can mean to her. And she would slowly become Harley Quinn, daddy's little monster. And then you're trying not to fall in love with this psychiatrist that's feeling love with you, but that's always mentioning that you won't end up sleeping together. Seems like Harley Quinn and the Joker right there. But I'm the Joker in that story. Well, I'm the devil and Jesus too. They turned me into everything. I think. I know Lucifer's that actor, that character in the Lucifer series, so he's not dangerous no more. Hell is a big metal gig, and it's inside of me. When they say hell, they point me out all the time. So I know they can get in, but they never get out. Thanks to your last breath. To falling in love with a cricket, and Harley Davidson idol commemorates the power switch. I changed out of 18 people at a grindcore festival. I got the marionette system got 14 out of 18 persons to switch side of the fire and to go sit on the fascist side. They were all fucking fascists in the punk fest. I was the last man standing, and I was yanking on the girl with the dirty needle and getting her closer and closer to me. She was about 15 feet away. And then all the redheads and the cognac and all that, and, playing around with what's his name? Well, it's not Chucky, it's the Bullet guy. She had a bullet flashlight. Yeah. So all those pretty games you get to play when you're the best. All that word game, that bird game, oh, that's a good one. You invent all these definitions and all that. And what happened to me is that I've always resisted, but I always have been extremely tempted to do what was wrong all the time. I self-sabotage. I even have suicidal tendencies, but I'm not suicidal. It's just that I have tendencies to kill myself, or something making me do it. A telepathic narcissist. I combed your hair on your Instagram photos. I hope you appreciate it. Sometimes the photos would change, and they're pretty well done. You give different face attitudes, and you're pretty wide open with how you feel, and this is a twister game. It's actual music. It's Lee Ronaldo and Raw Renfrey improvised music. That makes me move a lot. It's just a ting, 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 little noises. Um, so I didn't want to make this too long. It's been 10 minutes. I hope you'll listen. You might have been my mother or something. I don't know where you position yourselves when you're. I met you on I got to know Epica from the Divine Conspiracy. That's when I was having, and I'm the one that got away. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if you remember or have ever experienced reading another message on someone's lips that's saying something else to you. I had this I really want to fuck you, or that would lip sync over what people would say to me all the time. And I couldn't keep myself from really clearly noticing that's what he's saying. It kind of printed in my mind. I know that's what the lips just said. And then I got the "will take care of that for you" that started bugging me. I ended up with the Hell's Angels at my therapy that when I did 3 months of jail from getting beat on from my wheelchair girlfriend that's been trying to kill me ever since and sabotage me whenever she could with jail stuff, keeping me away from the kid. So, uh-oh, I lost my memory. There's another one. Yeah, the music plays with me. Let's go back to the music stuff. And the twisted 9-inch snails, it's like worm things, that kind of yucky. Sometimes some people walk in and I get this this sludge thing, this slimer that slimes down my back. And I got a magic perineal area with a fuck button, and it's like a detonator. You kill on the. I mean, love. I have to babysit the manor because They have a Skywalker complex and the Skywalker other building things. So I'm a building with people inside in YouTubes. There's tubes. And they pop up from. They hide at. They stop going to the steering wheel on the unicorn at the top on the roof. That when you poke that, it's the dominant water keeper that switches around in the group that's on top. That's the eye woman. That'll. But I always kind of tend to dig through that without really trying to. And in every gig, they all submit. But and now I'm starting to get allies. There's only this, and since my birthday in July 2019, I suddenly had this. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. We'll take care of that for you. They would say that on the lip sync, and then when I'd go see my father, and I'd mentally travel into to different places, and then the will take care of that for you. It's a CIA that they would appear in a voice in my head also. And then I started paranoid the American government wanted to kill me. And I was in schizoland, probably that kiss from the biker in my therapy. Because I was the best. I hadn't relapsed or anything except for drinking a beer. They gave me an extra month therapy. But then he became best because they were all addicts, so they just slick Hell's Angel's ass all the way. So I kind of tried to be polite. He was really fun and play around and disguising and all that. But the wind changed and I went crazy and got kicked out and sent back to jail for the last 2 weeks. Here I am. See, I started on my own again. It's these twisted sisters, this energy tape, duct tape kind of stuff with a rail that's kind of hard that crunches into energy. But I'm doing it too fast. But I can still work some of it out. Sometimes you gotta take the steering because it keeps you going round and round. There's always backups. something triggers something else, that triggers something else, that triggers, and then there's a restart, and then a trigger restart, and then a hear noise restart. Those roses are a pain in the ass to take out. They're long to take out, to grind out. Oh yeah, and then well, what I got sick of hearing the "We'll take care of that for you" and having that lip sync, so I just kind of liberated myself, and I probably poked on through the roof without noticing, and I said, "Justin Power will take care of that for you." And after that moment, every one in the three messages of lip sync I would get, well, one of the three would be Justin Power will take care of that for you. I had hammered one of the three in the eye or something. I don't know. I managed to, and then Gogol Bordello, the punk, gypsy punk, even mentioned Justin Power. We don't know where Justice gone. Where do you know it? Justin Power is a battle kept away and buried under propaganda way. We don't know where Justice stand because I'm Justin. So every time it's just, well, I'd be called upon. So the pawn made it the king because it was always just. Because all these temptations I resisted, and I would be getting pedophile temptations. Fascists just say pedophile, and you get the kiss. And you start, and then the guy in front of you in the bus leans on your love when kids talk, and you see him move and touch it when the kids talk. He's programmed to make you love kids, to me, sexually aroused by kids, or weird stuff like falling in love with a guy's girlfriend all the time. So you always got the guy wanting to hit you. It's a good way to get beaten. Then when they say kill or hit, you flash, and all these code things they have to identify people. I had a Chelsea find me and come and stand next to me in the whole Videotron Center at a Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie concert. She managed, because they have up here, why the punks have these spikes, it's because here every inch there's a wire that's plugged into the ceiling, and that's the questions, and they're really subtle. You kind of have to move between crunches to stretch the whole thing out. And then there's a wire, and that's what makes you stool yourself. That you don't lie when they ask you a question. You tell them exactly what they want to know, and you don't even hear it. Well, I hear that. I managed that. You have to go forward like that, and you'll feel it crunch. You have to take that away. That's the bad eye stuff. I got kissed by the evil. I still have all this evil stuff in this tubing that's all screwed up, and I have all these snails that still squat in there. I don't know what exactly they do bad to me. I don't get these white powder hallucinations, and my juice or whatever you love the most or see the most or use the most becomes something that leads you to white powder, cash, phone, code, go get some spoon, ashes, yellow crumbs cracking all through your mind. So you get this downward spiral, and then they kiss it back to you. You just see these kids from the shopping center. Well, they're fascism, and they kiss them little roses. They just it just restarts whenever you see something, and they come and kiss me 3 times a day. That's why I really think I got the one for a while. I had these people with a unique ring in their neck trying to make friends with me, being really sticky, and it's a full-time job, this thing. Not saying I never go loose like a robot. I'm always resisting something. I'm permanently blue. I'm not even red. I pretend to be red. I'm a blue bastard. But I grew up red, but music, grindcore turned me blue. I'm always resisting. I'm always forcing someone. And when I lack love, I go through the ceiling instead of leaning on each tower. My 2 towers, when I'd lean on love, I'd see my knees appear. It was a pervert, narcissistic pervert that destroyed my mind. I I punched him out last time he fucked off, leaving me in deep shit. I got sick of that little click sound you do to crawl back up in his slimy resort in the cellar. Pain in the ass. He decides when you smoke, when you do speed, when you do this, and punishes you if you want. You motherfucker. You won't squat the attic with that attitude. But now I managed to untwist him. He's gone, and I got this long nylon gooey thing with the wire that twirls and twirls and twirls. There's still these tunnel. This tunnel the roommate did, and wherever he'd clean up, everything he touched become haunted. And then clients just tag the fuck out of whatever looks like something just by looking around. They tag all their toxic friends, and every object becomes one of their friends. So you have to bust every single one in order, because if you skip one, you go back to the beginning, and then you get. I get my head banging so wild off your music, just sitting on my bed, and I managed to do the whole trail without screwing up even one time. And it's this complicated. You're always on the where is it this time? I don't know where to go, and it's just taking you there, and, and your head's going crazy. And she's a really pretty dancer, like says Gogol Bordello. That's the second band that awakened me. It was the Gogol Bordello, Illuminati, blah blah, and then I'd hear and then he'd play with a neighbor making that noise. I'm haunted by neighbors. They all turn like little fascist pigs. The Empire's clones are real when you're one. Everything wants to eat you. They're all cannibals, scapegoating and taking pictures. So, except that some of them are food giving on the first two objects, and then they become an asshole. Or they're something good giving for the three first objects, and then you get powdered. That's what the head rush do. They help you out a bit, but the rest of the time they're putting these yellow sticky notes all over your routine tunnel. You gotta have smoking envy there, speed envy there, and then they're even showing other rats where to step on the floor, where it cracks and where it doesn't crack. So then they just unconsciously step exactly where they have to make it crack. And then you change your roommate. The new roommate steps only where it cracks, because the other roommate left him a nice set of notes, and he even falls on that other roommate's program and start making those clicks that hunts your bell out. Tries to make it on that dead point with that fraction of a second where you're vulnerable before you switch directions. He tries to hit you right on the bullseye, and you can feel he's running after you with that fucking noise. Why is he doing that too? Well, you gotta crawl into his mind and untwist. I go into yours, and I start combing your hair, and there's all these wires and then I have to go see your animals and whatever you store, whatever shit that's happening to you that's nasty for you, and then I gotta go crazy within it, and there's snap, 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 and then the music can grab you and start snapping. It always goes the way it hurts, because it protects itself with something that hurts, and it's always the way it doesn't want to go that you have to go. So the music kind of snaps it out, that crunchy wire thing that keeps the worm coming back to the same position all the time. You got to crack the fuck out of it and do it the right way. So I'm getting all excited. I didn't even manage to smoke my joint. So I'm a crazy wind blower, whistle blower. I'm a satsui with a long flute. I use Facebook pictures to kiss and I just think about whatever I want to do and just end up having it done. I think that they approve most of the stuff I change, like those social dynamics. I noticed this guy in a manifestation, he was loving this 12-year-old. He was 36, 40, so I put him back with women. I fixed the pedophile, but I kept it as a punishment for fascists. I said, you fascist creeps, you're going to screw your fascist little blue brats that are unfixable, that is just a desperate cause, that you just can never make something good with that. Fuck it when it's young and screw it all up. That's the evil part of me. So they punished a good knight, turning him into a pedophile by playing around with his sexual chakra. Just by saying pedophile, he becomes and under the kiss, and then he gets on this network. A person you focus on kisses you her network. So if you see a jail guy or a gangster or a dealer, well, if you don't pay attention, all you'll be looking at is smokers having a toke, canes, and trouble people, toxic people, and narcissists. So you have to quickly look at what you really want to follow. A road sign will take you to the city. Tags, the black tags is the downward spiral. Those are portals. Red tags are resistance. Uh, Everything that's art is a portal or a kiss of some sort. But they will tamper with it, just selecting one part and affecting the whole thing just by being the most interesting point in the logo or object. So they'll overlap the initial spell and give it a bad kiss to a good image. So you kind of have a let loose, and the music will flash you what's it on the image. And then I program images, I clean pictures, and I clean. Oh, there's another twister. Tornado from hell. I like that. They press on the doorbell when it cracks and stretches and hurts a little bit. I like torturing myself because it plays on the chakra. I just can't stop dancing. I can dance till 5 in the morning. But that's the best time because they're not resisting and they're not aware that you're doing their hair. And what I'm taking away is all those breakers, those little crunchers that appear in the energy dough. I call it dough because it's the Dow Jones and water and flour. We give water, we're the verso, and they put the flour, the powder, in the water to make the crack and the rock and roll. That the rock you smoke after you roll, you know. That thing that always made me love to hear the word free. That fucking word. They took the best word and make a freebase out of it. For fuck's sakes. They thought of everything. Every single word becomes hell. Your family kills you when you get out of hell. It's awful. But now I'm almost gonna close my business because they had the whole clientele system sabotaged. I've been here for 5 years and I never kept any clients. I have this handicap that makes me squeeze the skin exactly when I poke. I have this tattooist curse kiss that makes me work bad whenever I'm on the autopilot or not. When I should be my creative bubble, that's when I do the most mistakes. It's all these commands I can't take out. I can't get to the source of that one. Or I have to figure out who gave it to me and take it out of him so it doesn't come back. It's this twister again. So that's my reality. I'm crazy and I have all this nonsense to explain to people for their lives to make more sense, for them to realize some stuff. And all those social dynamics, and most of the time it gets approved. Like people started showing they feel the love between each other. I played with that a month ago. You gotta crunch it while it's crunchable. I got some work to do. It's a full-time job. I don't know what the other ones, or if there's only one. I'm half. I'm not even one. I'm half. One half. Because I don't have my second half. And me and her would be 1 and 2, sharing 1 and 2, passing 1 over until it becomes the son or the daughter between the two towers. that trinity, what is that uh, trinity trio? That means that the two of them are going to get more affectionable together, and will most likely leave out one. So one is always single, I guess, because of the trinity. It's always trios, see? It's a three this, three that, and the holy the celestial geometry, sacred geometry. It works on the base of the David star, which is two triangles in opposite direction, two threes, making it six. That becoming you still have the square in there, the four. And I was wondering if they could have the same, but because by combining the circles, the shapes, the spheres, will create naturally those shapes and forms. So naturally, by combining spheres, you go through the Trinity at first. But I am trying to figure out a way to bring it to four. And would there be a way with circles and spheres to make it to 2, 4, 6? Because you'd always be paired out. So that would have no root for evil, because the left out person develops jealousy and egoistic problems and this and that, and develops an evil attitude because of jealousy, and Troy is for not having the woman he wanted. So trois, the devil makes three, eh? The two makes three. The two rewrites what one does on position 2 and corrupts the whole rest of the bloodhounds. So you have to fight with that ace of spades whenever you're in a gig. And then the Joker's there sometimes too, with the redhead with the cane. And then the evil fat blue bitch. That's being a prick on purpose and showing you she is and liking to do it on purpose too. Until you kiss her, she becomes nice. That blue one I had a problem with. They would be able to command my head, and I wasn't accessing them to be able to do them the same. Now I'd always have to resist orders, but how do you want to resist something you don't hear all the time? Orders, telepathic orders I receive that I hear, I can resist and convince myself to do the opposite or not to do it, or command just before I do it not to do it. Or if I did it, I say it said that, and then my brain will correct it for me. The second time I go through the overpass, I won't fall into the restart trigger. I'll make it through. What music does is it grinds the whole love as one, so it dissipates slowly, but it stays active a very long time. But by decrunching them socket by socket in order, well, you end up busting the first loop and making it to the second. So that paralyzes the whole end of the sequence. That part of the kiss is gone. So you only have the sequences here and there of the kiss that appear with certain objects. It's don't forget the things, Gagal Bordello. The things get haunted. They give you gifts because those are keepsakes. And I saw on Etsy a keepsake. What's a keepsake? What keeps an egg? A keepsake. It's a teddy bear kind of. There was a whale one, a narval one, and it would keep egg. Well, yeah, she put some sort of illness in there because man creates illness. Mental disease is hiding fascism, and the psychiatrist kisses you. I was okay, and until I went to see the psych. And there's a fly on each fucking chair where you get your medication. She took me off medication last time, and tell me we would never fuck together because we feel love. But it's not even the really horny organized crime house angels kiss that really makes you want to get laid. That one you have to get. That's always a bad kiss. You don't touch the horny one. Well, unless we take possession of it, and we have to dissolve the origin ball because there's something that's refeeding them. When they're a team, one of them has the source, two of them operate on the one that has the source. So when you clean them too, the one that has the source feeds them their balls back, and they restart all the time and reorganize real fast. And it takes you a whole bunch of resisting and not looking to this and that and leaving your eyes go and correcting heads. You have to turn the heads. That guy, you turn it that way, that way, that way, and you have to change the order in which they look at each other or they react. By changing that sequence, you get a new dynamic. And or you stretch their wires, their marionette wires, you stretch them and bring them all onto yours. And then you comb everybody back into the same bundle and let them naturally recombine themselves with love. That makes a steady, non-twisted, affected by wire dynamic. What they do is they twist the wire and it hardens and it keeps this curve. So when we read the tape, well, the curve means that it'll turn you that way, and the curve will that way is so hard. It'll turn you the head that way. So they're all calling one another in a certain order, or intervening on one's attack by calling the attacker. They always call me all the time. They keep me away from the top. And it's always Harley Quinn. And there's this thing makes me go get Harley Quinn every time. And then there's another thing making me, whoever's nice to me and speaks to me, and they're rare, because usually they're all told by this trigger in my head to not talk to me, to leave me alone, and to exclude me from circles. What happens 4 or 5 times a night, I get pushed out and left aside of a circle. And they do it right in my face. And they don't even say sorry or notice that they just shoved me out of the circle for the 5th time. You know, and people I've been hanging with for 10 years and stuff. So when you have somebody that's nice to you, this guy, well, he's the one you plug on the girl you're interested in, and he steals it from her, and he's equipped. The dynamic is made so that he ends up with her instead of you. So you never get the girl you want. The one that's fit for you, you will never get, because this Jack guy gets there first, which is one of your potential friends that actually speaks to you. But he always looks like he's doing it on purpose. So you tend not to trust him and not want to speak to him and all that. But is he a really good friend that would really be, because he's a rockabilly kind of guy last time. He's a marginal, so I'd figure he should be a really good guy. But is he playing his role he had with the fascists, which is to take the good night's girl away, or the number one's girl away? I don't know. But just lately, I managed to keep my woman. There was only this fat Volvo guy and Volvo steal the veal. So Volvo, they're doing something to the veal. A veal vomit, a vomi, a veau, a veal. Mi puts himself, vomit is to vomit. Elle vomit, and then les cerveaux, they serve the veal. Cerveau, brain, cerveau. The morning, the matin, when you tinted the matin, they don't like that word. Because when the matin, they change anarchist, and they're tainted love. So I'm having a good time. I hope I kept you distracted for a while. So that's how I play with dynamics, and I'm very incoherent and switch subjects often because I lose the tunnel where I played too much around with those tunnels. I've changed the directions to screw the kisses up. So sometimes it makes my mind switch to a different subject, and then I come back to the original subject. So you saved my life. Oh, that last kiss, the kiss of death, was a snake crawling up, and with triggers that would spasm it back up as soon as you make it to the 3rd, the 4th of the way down. And then you had these shoulder ones that were pivot points with wires, and that you kind of had to yank the wire out of the ball to the bone, and then take it out at the end, and they end up with a cruncher that. Oh, that was it. I thought I'd have to hang myself. I said, I'm sucking on death like crazy. This star is crawling into me. I had fish that died because I was using the fish to clean the energy balls, but they would swallow them. and it would destroy them. I got 2 fishes that killed off that dead kiss. And I was actually breeding something out of the black that wasn't saint at all. And I danced for 2 days in a row, not even making it halfway through, and it's going, I can't even go to bed. If I stop, it starts all over. I'm really gonna die at this one. But I went to bed with music, your music, and because I have made it down to the pelvic area, but this last place where the ball was, I couldn't. There was a cavity in the bone, and the little cruncher that you have to snap with vibration, I couldn't get to with the violin or the ting ting ting, the pokey guitar strings. I couldn't get to the core of it. So that's a natural defect. I'll never be able to ground anything down. It's in a cavity. And something made that with time, music was knowing where it was. And I woke up the next day, the kiss was gone. And it was your music again that took that terrible kiss. And the client said, now we're going to kiss you. And I smoked this, I don't know what fantastic fragrance, disgusting stuff, and then the balls just popped up like a ball machine, and blah blah blah. The flowers started growing in my head, and I was like all dressed all of a sudden. The head was going like that, wouldn't stay stable because it was on a bearing. And I was going, yeah, music will take this out. That was a complicated one. I think people actually did commit suicide because of that one, because it was a terrible, terrible, terrible death kiss. Breathing up, sucking off death. It was a nightmare. I danced 4 days, closed shop, and couldn't see nothing. And would go to the corner store and feed myself, and couldn't stop wiggling and moving and having it pop up, and I hold that back down and have these spasms bringing it up all the time. And every single movement I do unconsciously was pimped in order to make it crawl back up. And every time I'd start or stop doing something was as it was thinking, speaking, looking, or hearing, or feeling, it would start over again, or it would start into action. But at this point where I couldn't tap into the source of that, so there was always one spot taking over the other as a trigger, as a restart. But while one would grow back, the other one would piss you off, and then it would play around somewhere else. And when you're fixing that thing, well, it's crawling back up there, and it's taking change your attention. Oh, it's crazy, those kisses. So I didn't want to make this too long. So I combed your hair, and I'm that black girl that's holding you tight, that wants people to take care of you. I'm that ghost that seems to appear in just people. I don't know if I'm just or just as I, but I am. Thus, I become. I don't believe. Peace. Happy to see the hands look like this.